Michał Bura of the Polish border guard keeps watch on the frontier with Belarus.
Let's take a look at the map here. We have Poland and Belarus. Let's zoom in so we can see these two countries and get a good idea where they're at and what this border is between Poland and Belarus. Now here we get a good look at these countries. We have in red is Belarus, and then surrounded there in yellow we have Poland. And you can see Ukraine to the south of Belarus there, and Russia along the border there with Belarus.
A few years ago, this paved road led straight into Belarus.
Now it's closed. As an external border of the EU, it has to be secured against illegal immigration, among other things. Bura and his fellow border guards patrol for migrants waiting for their chance to enter the EU via the forest on the Belarusian side.
Seen anyone suspicious?
No, it's quiet, only locals.
Good, let's hope it stays that way.
The Polish government describes illegal migration as hybrid warfare.
Now wait a minute here. Is that a handgun? Is the person coming across there, is he coming across in a black outfit like he's a soldier, some kind of criminal, with a handgun?
It has accused Belarus and Russia of deliberately funneling migrants from Asia and Africa to the Polish border as a way of pressuring the West. Nearly all of them have Russian visas. A new migration route has taken shape here. Poland's previous government, headed by the Law and Justice Party, installed a barrier along some 180 kilometres of the border. Even so, the Polish border guard has recorded over 20,000 attempted illegal crossings so far this year, many more than the year before.
Since April, the number of attempts has risen to several hundred per day, and the attempts have become increasingly aggressive. Our officers and soldiers have been injured. Our vehicles and equipment have been damaged, and ultimately a tragedy occurred. One of our own was killed.
And here we have a weapon. It's made with a knife at the end of a stick. Now, this was used to kill a soldier, and he was stabbed with this knife on a stick. He died 9 days later in hospital. Yeah, this soldier, his name, Matus Sitek. And this soldier died being stabbed by a refugee. Is this something that refugees do? They carry knives on the end of sticks and throw them at the soldiers and wear black outfits coming across the border with handguns. I don't think these are refugees.
Border guards are increasingly being attacked through the barrier. In early June, a Polish soldier died of stab wounds inflicted by a makeshift spear. The Polish government under Donald Tusk announced it would reactivate a buffer zone, up to 2 kilometres wide in some areas along the border. Nobody can enter without permission.
These are not refugees. Fewer and fewer of them are families in need of assistance. In 80% of cases, we are dealing with organized groups of young men aged 18 to 30 who are very violent.
Is 80% a fair number? Let's take a look at macro trends and see something about the immigration in Poland. Let's go on here to Poland refugee statistics on the macro trends and take a look here. Okay, these are the refugee statistics. So we don't have 2023 or 24, but here in 2022 there was an increase. 0.04%. But you see here, going back, 2021, look at that, 19,820.59% increase. 2020, 75.93% increase. There was a decline in 2019 of about 78%. But you can see here, 2021, wow, massive. But let's look at net migration. Okay, net migration, small increase there in 2023, decline in 2022, and 2021 a decline, 2020 a decline.
Bardzo agresywnych.
Neither a stricter border policy nor a new government has really changed the situation. If anything, it's only gotten worse, says Alexandra Krzyżanowska. She's part of an aid organisation tasked with finding migrants deep in the forest along the Belarusian frontier, before vigilante groups or the border guard get to them.
The people we encounter tell us they've been subjected to even worse, even more cruel and ruthless violence.
Let's take a look here at Grupa Granica and see what this is. Here we see Helsinki Foundation for Human Rights. Grupa Granica. Social movement that opposes how authorities have responded to the events on the Polish-Belarusian border. And here we see, we assist forced migrants who find themselves on the Polish territory and monitor human rights violations. The movement includes activists from all over Poland, including residents of border areas and a growing group of NGOs.
Not just on the Belarusian side, but on the Polish side too. They tell us they were beaten, kicked, thrown to the ground, and handcuffed.
Krzyżanowska shows us videos of refugees she and other volunteers regularly encounter here in the forest. Some are starving or injured. The volunteers take care of them and advise them to apply for asylum in Poland. If they don't, they can legally be sent back to Belarus. But not all refugees are given the chance to apply.
Many of the people in the forest who say they intend to apply for protection and also say it to the border guard officers in our presence end up contacting us a few days later from Belarus. They say they were forced to sign a document which they did not understand but stated that they would not seek protection in Poland.
Many of these are allegedly illegal pushbacks. The border guard denies involvement. Videos circulating online allegedly show Polish border guards carrying seemingly unconscious people through a small gate in the barrier to the Belarusian side.
Well, let's take a look at different Polish border patrol uniforms. What did they wear? Now here, mostly it looks like their uniforms are camouflage. Also, in the film you see they're all camouflage type uniforms. Also, they have this vest. On the back, it has some writing on it. Those uniforms that we see of those people who are throwing people across the fence there, those uniforms don't look like Border Patrol uniforms.
There's been hardly any official response. This border area is especially dangerous for refugees. Alexandra Krzyżanowska shows us the graves of people who died in the Białowieża forest.
Most of these people are fleeing mortal danger in their home countries. They dream of a normal, peaceful life, and instead wind up in a place where their lives are in just as much danger. This policy of isolation means that rather than finding peace and safety, these people lose their lives.
Donald Tusk promised more humane refugee policies in his election campaign. Krzyżanowska says he hasn't kept those promises. Border guard Michał Bura says that governments come and go, but the border will always need protecting because it's sacred.
For sure, it's a problem. I think pretty much every country has troubles on their border, some more troubles than others. And you want to help the refugees, but when you have a lot of criminals, and it seems to me that the 80% that the general was talking about is probably true. They have a lot of criminals coming across, and they need to stop them. So, as usual, lots of problems, lots of troubles, and the world is watching.